I'm sick of video conferencing software, like Zoom. I'm sick of chatting to people on there. Mainly because I had a gag that was working for ages when I was talking to friends on video conferencing software, and it stopped working. I'll tell you the gag. Basically what you do, I'll gesticulate more than usual, and out of nowhere, I'll just freeze. And then my friends will be like, oh no, Tom, there's been a technical error. And I'll hold it for a few more seconds, and then I'll go, hey. And it goes okay in this setting, but in a Zoom setting, that's some of the funniest shit you'll ever see. Gets big laughs every time. Well, particularly the first 5 times I did it, but then the 5th time, and certainly the last time I did it, I was talking to 2 female friends on Zoom, and I was talking, and I was gesticulating, and then I froze. And they were like, oh no, Tom, there's been a technical error. And I held it for a few more seconds, but this time I held it for too long, because they just went back to talking to each other. And then one of them started saying how she currently has a UTI. And I'm like, oh no, that sounds private. But then I'm like, I've heard women talk publicly about having UTIs, but then I thought, I don't think this particular friend had ever told me anything about her genitalia, but by the time I've been thinking it through, I've left it too long. I can't do the reveal halfway through the story about the UTI. Then it makes it look like I did this so I could hear about the UTI. So I'm like, I just need to get out of the Zoom call. But then I realise I can't fucking move. Not only that, I can't move my eyes. Because it's one thing if I do a big reveal, it's another if they just see... Like, that's way creepier. So I'm like, okay, I've got to maintain eye contact with the camera, use my peripheral vision to look at my screen to see when they're not looking at their screens, and then make some sort of move when that happens. So I legitimately sat there completely still for about a minute, looking at my screen with my peripheral vision, and then I picked a point where I thought they weren't looking, and I just went, bam, right? I just shut my laptop as quickly as possible. I'm like, hopefully that worked. I opened it back up. I'd been logged out of the Zoom, thank God. I got in our WhatsApp thread. I'm like, oh no, there's been a technical error. I didn't admit what had happened. Then on the computer, went back into Facebook Messenger, clicked the link, logged back in. They were smiling. They were talking about something else. They didn't seem mad at me. I was like, thank God. And then she told me about her UTI. So this is a graph of the purpose of that last story. Right, I've got some more graphs for you. Oh, sorry, it's logged out of the... Fuck, sorry. Sorry, guys. This is what I was looking at before the show to make myself a bit more comfortable. I didn't actually get a chance to go through it. I might go through it now, actually, if that's okay with you. So I'm quite nervous. Make mistakes intentionally. That's what this bit is. Oh, you're not an audience. You might think you are, but you're something different. And that's all from me, guys. Thank you so much for coming. Hope you had a good time. Visual aids of your friends. I'm already doing that. Visual aids of your friends. I'm already doing that. Visual aids of your... Oh, what's your name, sir? Chad, cheers. Oh, Chad, what makes you tick?
Nerd stuff.
Appropriate. Blow off steam beforehand. I did that. I won't tell you how, but I did it. Pay attention to your body. That's actually how I blow off the steam beforehand. That's the end of that article. Sorry, guys. Now I've just got to log into PowerPoint. Sorry, it's an old email. Oh, I hate these. It's the ones on the sides that get you. Like, is my neck horny? I'm going to go with the... Yep. All right. Sorry, guys. Oh, thank you. Yeah. He's horny. This is fantastic. We can't believe it. So this is a graph of how rude it is to hold up each finger by itself. As you can see, the middle finger, by far the most rude. Now, this is my excitement seeing you topless as it relates to how many nipples you have. As you can see, a peak there at 2, that's because of horniness. The second, more dramatic peak, that's curiosity. That's... If you've got 3 nipples, piss off. If you've got 9, give me a look. I need to see that. So this is some data from my life. From a few years ago, I went on a date with a girl called Sandra, and this is her enjoyment of different aspects of the date. So as you can see, she gave me 8 out of 10 for the venue, which I chose. She gave me 7 out of 10 for the rapport over the course of the date. Also gave me 7 for my clothes, which I also chose. She gave me 9 out of 10 for my enthusiasm. But as you can see, only 1 out of 10 for the post-date survey. Sandra did not enjoy the post-date survey. This is some data from last year. I stopped recording in September because, as you can see, there's not much to go on. But to be fair to me, a bit of something going on there in March. This is a graph of how many times a girl blew me a kiss last year. As you can see, 0.5 there in March. That's because she says it was a yawn, but I know what I saw. There were two of us, we disagreed, so it was 0.5. That's the appropriate place to draw the line. So this is a club that I've always wanted to be a part of, but I also have a bit of a gripe with the definition of the Mile High Club. If I could ask you, Chad, what do you think you need to do in order to get into the Mile High Club?
Be in an aeroplane.
You think everybody who has been in an aeroplane? This is one of the easiest clubs. Have you been in conversations where people are like, I'm in the Mile High Club, and you're like, me too. I went to Adelaide in 2014. Surely you know there's another element.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Would you like to mention it?
Go to the bathroom with someone you're very close with.
Okay. Yes, famously the Mile High Club describes dual urination. Lean over to your wife. Would you like to go to the bathroom at the same time as me? Let's piss at the same time. See how streams go into the bit where it's all in at the same time, and then they can be like, oh my God, you're my wife's piss. That was your piss in the, what I assume is a big container in the plane. I've never been down there. I assume what you're trying to avoid mentioning sex, but you're alluding to sex. Most people would say sex on a plane, right? But I don't think that's enough in terms of a definition, because what if the plane is grounded, right? It's got to be a mile high. It's the Mile High Club after all. So then I think the definition would be something more like sex plus 1 mile, right? But even then, plus 1 mile from what? Plus is unidirectional. It implies unidirectionality. And 360 degrees need to be accounted for in the definition, right? It doesn't matter where you are on the globe. If you're a mile high and you have sex on a plane, it counts to get into the Mile High Club. So then the definition needs to be something more like plus or minus sex and 1 mile from sea level, right? So if that's sea level, then it's either plus 1 mile from sea level plus having sex, or minus 1 mile from sea level minus having sex. But what is minus sex? It's a good question, right? So sex is sex, obviously. Sex minus sex, that's just nothing. That's just zero. Ignore that. Minus sex, I suppose, would be the opposite of sex, and I would describe it as being about 2 or more people coming together. So I'd say the opposite of that would be pleasuring yourself. So therefore, I think the definition of the Mile High Club is either having sex on a plane or masturbating on a submarine. So the point is, does anyone have a submarine? I've got to get under that club. So this is an excerpt from an email from an old real estate agent that I had a few years ago, and this is after we'd moved out of this place. And I'm not a huge fan of real estate agents. One of the things that annoys me about real estate agents is they always want money out of the bond for irrelevant stuff. They think of it as the landlord's money, I reckon, and they make excuses to try to get money out of it. And this is the stuff that this real estate agent wanted money for after we'd moved out. The thing that annoyed me the most was the pests. She says, I've spotted ants in the kitchen and in the bathroom upstairs. It's the responsibility of tenants to treat/eradicate. I'll send our pest controller to attend. $99 is what the real estate wanted for this ant infestation they reckon they found, right? And I swear to God, when I lived there, I didn't notice any ants. So I responded to this, just saying, could you please send through some evidence of this ant infestation? And this next slide is legitimately what she sent through as evidence of an ant infestation. How many ants do you see there, Chad? 3? Well, there's a cheeky 4th one up there. But still, $99 for... That's $25 per ant. That's crazy money. I'll flick an ant for $2. What are you talking about? So I responded to this, just being like, that hardly constitutes an ant infestation, to which she legitimately replied, there are never just 4 ants. Which is an insane claim. Particularly insane coming from someone who recently emailed you a photo of fucking 4 ants. Also, I looked it up online. There are sometimes 4 ants. There are sometimes 4. This is my number 1 favourite comedian, Norm Macdonald. This is my number 2 favourite comedian, Maria Bamford. And my number 3 favourite comedian is the New South Wales Police social media team. Oh, we've got some other fans in the room. Yeah, in this country, our police are pretty funny guys, all right? I wanted to show you some of my favourite memes from, most of them are from this article, literally just 18 of the best bloody memes from our Australian police forces. This is one of my favourites. It says, saying married at first sight is on at 7:30, won't get you out of a speeding ticket tonight. Slow down. This is a meme about how the police have no mercy. So this is an absurdist meme. It says, excuse me, sir, do you know how fast you are going? And then there's a horse with a police hat and police sunglasses. This is an absurdist meme, which makes you imagine a world where horses could understand the responsibilities associated with law enforcement and were also polite. This one is an even more absurdist meme. It says before and after coffee. Then there's a sleeping horse and an awake horse. The horses are no longer wearing the hats or the sunglasses. So we can only assume they're undercover. But if you break it down, it's essentially a meme about the stimulating effects of caffeine. This one says, swipes right immediately. This is a meme about how the police fuck dogs. Is that not what it implies? They posted it, not me. So I'm a big fan of their work, as I said. Some of it I find a bit confounding, if I'm honest, and this is an example. I don't quite get this one. It says, on a scale from 1 to people eating tuna at work, how annoying are drivers who don't keep left? So I think what they're trying to communicate here is drivers who don't keep left, they're annoying. People who eat tuna at work, they're annoying. But what I find annoying are scales that do not make sense. And this scale is from 1, a numeral, to people eating tuna at work, which is a concept. For it to be a scale, what's in between? There's nothing in between 1 and people eating tuna. 1 and people eating... Like, it's only a scale if there's something in between. I thought about it for quite a while, and I think the most generous reading you could make is that it's a scale of annoyingness, and then 1 corresponds to 1 person eating tuna at work, and then 2, and that would be a linear scale. I think the more people eating tuna at work, the more annoying work would be. If there were 100 people eating tuna at your work, you'd be like, oh my God, this is the most annoying day that there's ever been. So I think I'd put drivers who don't keep left at about 1.8 people eating tuna at work, but only if you let me add a y-axis of police sex with dog. Thank you for letting me. Thank you.